independence, we still find it hard to start. How long shall we be patient before we reach the promised land? Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way, Nigeria? Which way? Which way, Nigeria? Tell me which way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh yeah, I want to know. Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Every little thing that goes wrong, we start to blame the government. We know everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way, Nigeria? Which way? Which way, Nigeria? Tell me which way to go. Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah, I want to know. Want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Inefficiency and indiscipline is ruining the country now. Corruption here, there, and everywhere. Inflation is up.
Which way Nigeria? I deliberately allowed the popular Sonia Kosu song to linger that long so that we can know where we are coming from. Like I've always said, as at the time Sonia Kosu was singing this, one of this is popular music, which has remained the hidden of many historical programs on any radio station in Nigeria. Things we are far better off compared to where we are today. I want to believe that had it been Sonia Kosu still alive, we would have given the song a more remix. And I think Wish Nigeria that we are now listening to now is most appropriate for the condition we find ourselves in Nigeria, particularly on issues that border down on security, economy, religion, and ethnic sentiment in particular. These are real questions that we begin to ask ourselves. Which way, Nigeria?
Green revolution is a reality. Let's give it a chance to grow. Let's join our hands.
It is on this note that I welcome you to one of the most informative, educative, and analytical program on your favorite radio frequency, iPower 102.7 FM, transmitting live from Emunwele, Owo. And you can only be hearing a program of this nature on one particular program, which is Echoes of the Past. Echoes of the Past is a unique program that takes listeners beyond newspapers' headlines,
Green revolution is a reality.
calendar dates,
Chance to grow. Let's join our
and to the very heartbeat of history itself.
no food to show. Let's save Nigeria.
It explores the events,
Nigeria won't die.
decisions, personalities, and circumstances that have shaped and continue to shape Nigerian nation.
Oh sure.
Through detailed analysis and historical perspective, the program examines issues affecting Nigeria politically, religiously, ethnic-wise, economically, and social landscape.
Green revolution is a reality. Let's give it.
It also places under the spotlight the ideals, challenges, fragility, and the sustainability of the Nigerian enduring slogan, unity in diversity,
So Nigeria won't die.
and how this unity in diversity has brought about the realities that influence contemporary thinking, particularly among the younger generations, which we call Gen Zs.
Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria.
Beyond historical analysis,
Yes, I want to.
Echoes of the Past provides an interactive platform where listeners can actively participate.
Green revolution is a reality.
And the program features a feedback segment during which listeners are invited to call in and share their views,
There's no food to show.
opinions, and observations,
So Nigeria
and contribution on topical issues ranging from politics,
which
the economy, religion, security, entertainment, and other matters of public interest. It is on this note that I warmly welcome you on board Echoes of the Past. My name is Akin Adebayo, popularly known as the Echo Man.
Reality, let's give it a chance to grow.
Today, we shall be examining a topic of significant historical and contemporary relevance:
Let's save Nigeria.
early iron smelting and technological development in Nigeria, and the ancient civilization that existed before modern Nigeria. Like I said about 3 episodes back, that I deliberately choose to start this program all over again, because some people actually called in to tell me that they've missed some part of it, and I deem it fit, since we are discussing history. And like I said, since history has now been reintroduced back into various curriculums, and that's why I decided to take a step back so that we can all start from the beginning again. So to our listeners that have probably gone past through this particular episode, I say a very big sorry. But all the same, you just need to carry everybody along. As always, we shall trace its origin, examine its development over time, and analyze its impact on our society today. On this note, I encourage you to stay tuned and participate during our feedback segment, where your opinions and contribution will enrich the discussion.
Reality, let's give it a chance to grow. Let's join our hands to farm the land so we can have enough food to show. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh, sure.
Welcome back. Like I said, today we shall be, reading to our listening pleasure or analyzing 2 topics, and that is the early iron smelting and technological development in Nigeria, and the ancient civilization that existed before modern Nigeria.
Reality, let's give it a chance to grow.
Early iron smithing was one of the most important technological developments in the history of Nigeria. Long before colonial rule, several communities developed knowledge of iron production, metalworking, agriculture, poultry, and other technologies. Iron tools and weapons transformed farming, hunting, construction, trade, and welfare, contributing significantly to the growth of the complex society. Which simply means that the idea of saying that maybe the white man came and over time we've been fed with all manner of jaundice history, that they came, they gave our forefathers mirror, and we are sold to slavery, and they came, they gave us this, they gave us that. You see, before the intrusion of the colonial masters, there are ways we've been living our life, and that is why they deliberately decided to go this back memory lane for us to know that before colonialists came to actually enslave us, iron tools and weapons transformed. That several communities developed knowledge of iron production, metalworking, and agricultural, poultry, and others technologies. Iron tools and weapons transformed farming, hunting. We've been hunting before they came on board. Construction, trade, and warfare contributed significantly to the growth of complex society. Archaeological evidence showed that ironworking was practiced in different parts of present-day Nigeria from ancient times. One of the most famous centers is the North culture, located mainly in central Nigeria. Archaeological discoveries indicate that iron smelting and iron working were practiced by North community by the first millennium BCE, making the area one of the important early centers of iron technology in West Africa. Other important ironworking traditions developed in places such as Jos, Plateau, Tarunga, Ife, Oyo, and parts of northern Nigeria. Communities adapted their techniques to locally available iron-bearing ores, charcoal, and clay. Iron smelting involved heating iron in special constructed furnace to separate the iron from impurities. Charcoal served as both fuel and a reducing agent. The resulting iron bloom was then removed and repeatedly heated and hammered by blacksmiths to produce useful objects. The development of iron technology encouraged improvement in several areas. Blacksmiths produced farming implements such as hoes, knives, axes, and digging tools. These tools made it possible to clear forests and cultivate larger areas of land, contributing to agricultural expansion. Iron was also used to manufacture weapons, including spears, arrowhead, and sword. Like I said, before the intrusion of, and that is why, if you see, that is why even if you look at, I'm sorry to go that route, but I just want us to have a better understanding of what we're talking about. Look at the South Africans, the Zulus in particular, when they were asking other African, nationalities to vacate South African country. Look at their dressing. From that, you will know that at least either especially and gladly they celebrated African culture, particularly the Zulu culture. And that is what is actually obtainable before the intrusion of the colonialists. If I'm not mistaken, any Gen Z should go back and look at what happened. As in when the day, I think it was June 30th or thereabout, when it was declared that all other African nationalities, residents in South Africa should vacate. The Zulu ethnic group came out and they dressed in their regalia. And if I'm not mistaken, when Barack Obama, then American president before Joe Biden, was to be sworn in, his grandmother from Kenya sent him a staff, an arrow, I think maybe some equipment to symbolize authority. That is to tell you that we blacks, we've been living our life, we've been living an organized life before the intrusion of the black man. If only we are allowed to develop at our pace, probably would have gone far beyond where we are. It sounds funny though, but that's the simple truth. Because of course, like Yoruba will say in the Yoruba slogan, you are undoing me and you are still trying to rescue me. Or you are rescuing me, you are the one undoing me. Because it has been discovered that these are people that they will give you one and collect 10 from you. Triangular trade, whereby raw materials will be exported from Nigeria to America and European country. It will be produced into finished product and be deported back again. And that's why I keep on telling everybody that cares to listen, that thank God that Dangote is around at this point in time. Only God knows what's happening in Nigeria by now. With the war ongoing between Iran and US and Israel on the Strait of Hormuz. I wonder how our so-called petroleum product importers would have been able to import petroleum products into the country if Dangote were not to be working. So this simply means that the way forward is for us to do our own thing. And that is why tomorrow I continue to appreciate the Chinese government, Yong Chun, then, that actually operated a closed economy. And that actually brought about the development in China. Like I've always said, it is only we that can do the right things for ourselves. There is no how a white man can love you more than yourself. Recently, look at the Sahel. Is it Niger? Is it Burkina Faso and what have you? That are being colonized by the French authorities then. That has been discovered. That's the singular reason why there seems to be unrest there because of the lithium. And of course, even in Nigeria here. Why do you think that the places that people are being chased away from, you will see a white man residence there? So we simply mean that this, you see, now we've gone past the era of slave trade. Now we are under serious economic trade. Economic slavery. Because all the banditry that is actually taking place in northern Nigeria, of course, like Oshomole said, that have been sponsored by some generals. But if you look in-depthly, those generals are not the one exporting those raw materials, those lithium and what have you that have been discovered in the northern Nigeria. It is being ferried away by some white person, by some expatriates, so to say. So this simply means that we are no more in the era of human slavery, but rather we are now under serious economic slavery. Another technological advancement included poultry production, weaving, salt production, leather working, bead making, construction, and long-distance trade. Metal worker developed specialized knowledge that was often passed from one generation to the other. Iron technology contributed greatly to the growth of Nigeria's societies, increased agricultural productivity, supported larger population and permanent settlements. Specialized occupation also emerged as blacksmiths, farmers, traders, hunters, and other skilled workers performed different economic functions. Iron making became an important economic activity. Iron objects could be exchanged for food, livestock, stores, agricultural products, and other commodities. Skilled blacksmiths therefore occupied important positions within many traditional communities. Iron technology also contributed to political development. Better agricultural tools helped support larger communities, while improved weapons strengthened the ability of emerging states to defend their territory and expand their influence. That is, as at the time that the white men invaded us, we've been living our lives. We've been building weapons. We've been doing all manners just to better our lot. So we should do it with this idea of maybe the white man came and opened our eyes. No, our eyes have been opened. If I'm not mistaken, as at the time we are watching movies on TV screen in southwestern Nigeria, according to what I heard, France was yet to start watching movie by then on TV screen. What I'm talking about. In conclusion, early iron smelting represents a major achievement in Nigerian technological history. Indigenous communities demonstrated considerable knowledge of metallurgy, furnace construction, fuel production, and metal working. The technology improved agriculture, welfare, trade, and craftsmanship, and contributed to the development of increasingly complex society. The history of early iron working, therefore, demonstrates that technological innovation in Nigeria existed long before European colonial influence and played an important role in shaping the country's economy and social and political development. Do not deceive ourselves. With what I just read down, that's why I said that this is history class, whereby we take you down historical lane, make you to understand from certain things. Enough of being fed with this jaundice history. The history of early iron working therefore demonstrates that technological innovation, as I may not use that technology, maybe due to maybe Englishman language, but we know that we are living a way of life. In Nigeria existed long before European colonial influence and played an important role in shaping the country's economy, social, and political development.
Yes, I want to know where Nigeria is heading to. Oh, yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know where Nigeria is heading to. Green revolution is a reality. Let's give it a chance to grow. Let's join our hands to farm the land so we can have enough food to show. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way, Nigeria? Which way?
Welcome back. It's to your program, Echoes of the Past. Echoes of the Past has made it to understand our editorial analysis that goes beyond the headlines, but takes you into the art of history itself. It goes beyond just any analysis. No, we read it out the way, the way it's been done. Then we begin to, like I said, the sooner we are doing this program is just to abreast us of events that took place in the past, how we can use it to amend the future, and that can now help us to be prepared for the amend the present, and how it can help us to be prepared for the future. Like I said, today we'll be handling two topics. I just finished the first one, and that is early iron smelting and technological development in Nigeria. The second one now is ancient civilization that existed before modern Nigeria. Look, every nation evolved. There have been civilization there have been ancient civilization before the modern one. So that's why I'll be taking us memory lane again about ancient civilization that existed before modern Nigeria. I'll be back in a moment. Please don't change the dial. Long before the creation of modern Nigeria, the area now known as Nigeria was home to several advanced societies and civilizations. This community developed organized political system, agriculture, trade, craft, religious institutions, urban centers, and sophisticated technologies. The achievement laid important foundation for the cultural and historical development of present-day Nigeria. Let's start with the Nook civilization. The Nook civilization developed in part of central Nigeria and is generally dated from around 1500 BCE to the early century CE. It is particularly famous for its remarkable terracotta sculpture and early iron working. Terracotta sculpture and early, these are part of the things that were packed away when these imperialists came. And that is why recently some were repatriated from France back to Germany, back to Benin. That's almost created another problem between the federal government of Nigeria, the Benin state government, and the Oba of Benin. Where we are now contemplating now where should this thing be taken, who owns it? But thank God that the Oba stood his ground, that it was actually carted away from the palace of the Oba of Benin. Because at then Nigeria was trying to lay claim to it. The then governor in person of Guys Obaseki was like maybe Obaseki was trying to lay claim to it. In fact, he has went as far as even creating a museum. But the Oba insisted that that property remains his property, that was actually carted away from the Oba of Benin's palace. Igbo Uku civilization. Ugbo Uku is present-day southeastern Nigeria, became famous for archaeological discoveries dating from approximately the 9th century CE. Excavation revealed highly sophisticated bronze and copper objects, beads, pottery, and other materials. The quality of the metalwork demonstrates that the society possessed skilled craftsmen and participated in long-distance trade. Ugbo Uku provide important evidence of the complexity of early societies in southeastern Nigeria. Now let's go into the ancient Ife civilization. Ife is present-day Osun State, became a major center of civilization and culture among the Yorubas. Its development was particularly significant from around the 11th century onward. Ife is renowned for its highly sophisticated terracotta and bronze sculpture. Its artists demonstrated exceptional knowledge of metal casting and artistic techniques. Ife also developed an influential political and religious tradition that later affected other Yoruba states. Kanem Borno civilization. The Kanem Borno civilization developed around the Lake Chad region and became one of the most powerful political systems in the wider West African region. The Kanem state emerged in the first millennium, while the Borno phase later became centered in the area around present-day northeastern Nigeria. The civilization benefited from trans-Sahara trade and developed strong political institutions, Islamic scholarship, agriculture, and military organization. Its rulers maintained diplomatic and commercial relations with communities across the Sahara and West Africa. The Hausa states. In northern Nigeria, several Hausa states and cities developed into important centers of commerce and civilization. These include Kano, Katsina, Zazo, Gobe, and Daura. They became center of agriculture, craft, textile, production, leatherworking, and long-distance trade. Kano in particular developed into an important commercial center connected to Trans-Saharan Trade Network, Oyo civilization. The Oyo Empire became one of the most powerful Yoruba states before the emergence of modern Nigeria. It developed a sophisticated political and administrative system and maintained a powerful cavalry force. Oyo economy was supported by agriculture, trade, and craft production. Its political organization include institutions that placed limits on the authority of the Alaafin and helped administer the empire. Benin civilization. The ancient Benin kingdom developed in present-day Edo State and became one of the most sophisticated political and artistic centers in West Africa. Benin was renowned for its bronze and brass casting, ivory carving, architecture, and organized administration. The kingdom maintained extensive trade network and developed a powerful monarchy headed by the Oba. Contribution to Nigerian history, all that we read so far. These civilizations contributed significantly to the development of the region. They introduced and refined technologies such as ironworking, metal casting, poultry, weaving, and agricultural production. They also developed systems of government religion, trade, and social organization. Their commercial network connected communities within West Africa, and in some cases with North Africa and other parts of the wider world. The artistic tradition, language, religion practices, and political institutions continue to influence Nigerian society today. Now, the conclusion is this. The history of the territory now called Nigeria did not begin with colonialism or the creation of the Nigerian state in 1914. So we must get all these things very, very clear. The history of the territory now called Nigeria did not begin. Look, Florence Shaw only named Nigeria. Nigeria had been existing before the colonial intrusion. The history of territory now called Nigeria did not begin with colonialism or the creation of the Nigerian state in 1914. For centuries before modern Nigeria emerged, the region contained numerous organized societies and civilizations with their own political institutions, economies, technology, and culture. The Nok, Igbo, Ikwu Ife, Kanem Bonu, Hausa, Oyo, Benin civilization are among the most important examples. Their achievements demonstrate the depth and diversity of African pre-colonial history and provide essential foundations for understanding the historical development of modern Nigeria. It is on this note, I'll be calling the wrap today on Echoes of the Past. Like I said, this is the program that will abreast you of what happened in the past, that will bring to your listening pleasure Nigerian history, not the jaundiced one, not the history that is one-sided, not a history that portrays something different from what actually happened. This is it, and like I have always said, it goes beyond paper headlines. It goes in depth